All right, guys, I hope you've been following along because today we take another step forward into the beautiful world of digital sovereignty. There are so many different AI businesses and startups popping up here, which are promising to be your AI CMO. I don't particularly want to pay $99 per month for something that I can just build on my own, right? And because I've already built my own business's infrastructure, my CMS system, which is publishing content, I've already got my CRM system built in here, workflows, lead submissions, etc., etc. Why would I pay another platform when I can literally just do it myself, right? So that's the whole real idea of what we're doing here. And just remember, guys, that the future really belongs to businesses that are building their own infrastructure and building on land they own. We are going away from the digital landlords that ultimately control our businesses, control our inflow, and own the data of all of our customers. Screw that. Data's mine. We're taking it back, and that's what being digitally sovereign is all about, and it starts with your digital home. But I want to now formalize this and actually take this a step further, and I want to build an actual marketing agent, a CMO, if you will, that speaks to me on a daily basis, analyzes our data, has access to our entire business's ecosystem, how distribution is doing, how everything is working inside of our CRM system, and giving me briefs. How should we optimize things? What should we do next? Because the whole idea of a digital home is that it gets smarter every single time AI gets smarter, because we are not renting from any platforms, no CRM systems, which gives us and our clients ultimate flexibility. Okay, so I'm going to open up Fable, connected to the project that we've been working on inside of our digital home. And I'm just going to speak to it now in natural language, give it an epic prompt. Okay, so here's what I want to build today. We've got our digital home backend, the one that's running our CRM system, the content pipeline, our emails. And what I want you to build is a fully agentic layer on top of it. An AI marketing operator that lives inside of its own infrastructure. I want you to give it a dashboard page in the back end where I can talk to it. I want to be able to give it real tools over my actual systems. It should also be able to look at my leads, read my funnel numbers, draft articles straight into my content calendar. It should also be able to draft emails to my list, but nothing goes out without me. Okay, so everything it wants to send or publish should land in an approvals queue first, and then I'll approve it with one click. I also want to have a heartbeat where every morning it wakes up on its own. It reviews the entire house, new leads, funnel movement, gaps in the content calendar, and ultimately writes me a morning report with what it thinks we should do. For now, just keep safe mode on all the time. Test everything in the browser as you go and don't stop until the dashboard is open in front of me, locked and loaded. All right, guys, so there's our brief. We're on Fable, we're on high, and we're going to send it. So the infrastructure is locked and loaded. This has actually been built with this agentic layer in mind from the start. So Fable should actually have a very easy route forward in regards to implementing this. All right, so we're going to let this cook and we'll check back in just a moment. All right, guys, so Claude has worked for probably half an hour, and it's basically said the operator is built, verified end-to-end, an AI marketing operator inside your backend, blah, blah, blah. All right, guys, let's test if this bad boy actually worked. All right, so refresh. We've got our new operator shell over here, and this looks kind of cool. All right, so we've got talk to the operator. It reads your real leads, funnels, content calendar, and drafts emails, articles into your approvals queue. Try what happened to the funnel this week. Anyone worth following up with? So chat, activity. So it's used trends and okay, so these are some of the things Claude is doing. So let's just hit the morning review. All right, so apparently it's doing a morning review, checking leads, reading the content calendar. Okay, so approvals queue, email just now. Email this lead. Being the best is worthless if you're invisible. Freshest ICP lead, life coach, active yesterday, no touches yet, warm intro, preview. It's drafted an email. What's up, name? Luke here from Brave Brands. Saw your coaching and building. Love that. Here's the thing most coaches never hear. Blah, blah, blah. The good news in the age of AI. Take the quiz, which sends people to my actual quiz. Oh my gosh. So it's incorporated our actual funnel that is live right now, which is really interesting. Okay. And let's go ahead and just send this. YOLO. Okay, so that's interesting. We've also got this publish, feast or famine trap, why coaches stay invisible, and how to build a visibility system that doesn't quit. All right, so I'm guessing that's going to publish an article to our site. So let's just approve that. Okay, and then it's got a morning report over here. Morning report, blah, blah, blah. New leads since yesterday. CRM says 502 leads, all created on the last one day. Okay, so that was the bulk export we did previously. It's pulled out some interesting things. 0 people have been nurtured. That's a big unworked asset sitting cold. Yes, we haven't done that yet. Funnel, last 7 days, tiny volume. Yes, because that only went live yesterday. Content calendar, 12 entries, 5 published, blah, blah, blah. What I'd do today, approve the feast or famine, publish. Approve the email, which you've done. Okay, that's insane, guys. All right, so let's go ahead and just see what happened to that content real quick. Okay, so it's actually published the flipping thing. All right, let's see what it wrote. Oh my goodness. Okay, let's see if this is actually on our site. So that brand new article has been written, linking to client results. We've got join our community, FAQs, and the whole thing lives on our site, my friends. Oh my goodness, guys. Okay, so let's just go back to the operator. So we've got that. Let's just hide that report for a sec. So let's just say, can you identify 10 people that we should create personalized outreach emails to today? Go ahead and draft them as well. And then I'll review them before we send them. Okay, so you can see here it's now listing the tools. So all of the leads inside of our CRM system, these are all actual people that we transported over from GHL. All right, guys, so it's pulled up this real quick, and it just says that these are all LinkedIn CSV imports, not opt-ins, which is actually a really smart thing. I'm glad the agent actually pulled this up because we, populated this CRM with like raw leads from GHL. It's identified that, which is really smart. So, really what's going to be interesting is once the funnel data here actually starts updating with our customized quiz, which the raw data only started coming in for this last night, we're going to have a bunch of amazing data. So just for example, anyone that fills out that quiz has all of these custom answers filled in already because we're gathering data from that diagnosis funnel. So you can just see how in the future we'll be able to just say to the operator, like, just pick up 10 of the new leads from the quiz funnel and write personalized emails to them. But, we should really have that set up here in emails, in workflows anyway. Okay, so that's insane. Now, the only problem here is there's no like history, so I can't see the chats. Like if I go off this, then it's completely gone. Okay, so one other thing I want to test is for our article process, you can see that we're starting to get a little bit low on ideas. So the way that this CMS system works, anything that's improved automatically gets written every day because there's already an automated schedule set up for that. But we want some fresh ideas in here. Okay, so we've actually got a skill baked into this backend, which basically is a trends loop, which looks for new ideas and trending topics on the internet using a Google search. So I'm going to see if the operator can actually do that. Run the trend scan and see if you can identify 20 new ideas that we can start to populate into our article and blog section on our site. Okay, so you can see chat is starting, operators thinking. All right, you can see it's doing the trend scan. So 20 trends found, 5 added to the calendar. All right, scan done. Here's the honest read. The tool found 25 raising topics, but only 5 new ones added to calendar. It skipped 5 as duplicates. Blah, blah, blah. The 5 added ranked for you keep on thesis, personal branding for consultants, how to treat your content like a business, the creator economy split. To actually get 20 ideas, the scanner won't spit out 20 quality ones at once, but I can. Here's what I do. Bum, 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 bum. Yes. Yes, that sounds good. Go ahead. Okay, so now it's just saying archive 3 off ICP budget branding calendar entries. The trend scanner keeps adding cheap budget branding topics that fight Brave Brand's premium frame. Man, that's awesome. So it's like smart enough to know if this is actually like crap ideas or not, which is just insane. So let's just approve that. I like that. And then here are the 20 articles mapped to your 4 pillars. Okay, so apparently these are on the list. All right, let's go ahead and check. All right, guys, and just like that, you can see that our content ideas have now landed in approved. And so, because we're on autonomous mode, the agent daily will come in here and write these, but we'll just go ahead and approve one for now. Just see how that works. Okay, and one cool thing about the Digital Home backend as well is that, you can also just review all of your current articles. You can make changes, tweaks, edits, blah, blah, blah. And this will all just update automatically on our front end because we're rock and rolling, my friends. So that's just a beautiful system, isn't it? All right, so my friends, this is pretty awesome. All right, so I think the capability is there for me just to log in, see a morning report, see how my funnels are doing, see how my emails are performing, create new workflows very, very easily. And that's just a complete inbound system, agents working away in my own CRM system. And it's all, my own infrastructure. I don't pay a single subscription for this. Yes, I pay for the API credits and the AI credits. But to me, that's pennies on the dollar. So, just like that, really one-shot kill. Fable has created a fully autonomous agentic layer onto our backend. Now, we could go in so many different ways, but I think really what's important for you to understand is that AI is fantastic at taking care of the repeatable asset generation tasks that would ultimately take humans weeks, if not months, to do. One thing I do not like delegating to AI is ideas and creativity. All right. I know that AI ultimately expands me. It gives me the ability to create more, to put myself out there more, and to ultimately act as an extension of my brain. But one thing I hate doing is saying, hey, give me an idea for this. I rather like to go to AI and say, hey, this is where I would like to take it. How can you make it 10 times bigger than what I'm imagining for myself? But you can see, my friend, when you start to own your own digital infrastructure, you start to become digitally sovereign. Because now I have my own CRM system, my own agent that's working, has full business context of what's happening on the ground all of the time and getting smarter every single time AI advances. That is a huge competitive advantage to you as a business owner. Whether you own a medium-sized business or a small business, you now have the capability to do what other businesses honestly were not even able to do a couple of weeks ago. All right. So next time you see a fancy new AI startup popping up around the corner, yes, you can dive into it, but yes, you can also ask Fable to integrate it to your own business system and have custom software that drives your business forward. But what you've got to be very careful of is not falling into the trap of creating random stuff for the sake of it. I only am interested in creating tools and resources and software that's going to drive my business forward. Because at the end of the day, the most important things remain the most important things: product, marketing, and sales. If you want to learn how to implement all three of those, our school community is waiting for you. All right, guys, so we've just done a test of sending an email to a potential client. Now that came through as a test, okay, because we're still on safe mode. But you can see what it shows up as, okay? So what's up, Marilla? Quick, honest question about how blah, blah, blah. And then that links off to our actual Brave Brand lead magnet, okay? So you can see there, it's got full business context of what our funnels are, what our lead magnets are, and it sends these beautiful emails. Obviously, I just need to go off safe mode, but it's drafted that, and we can start to increase the amount of brand touch points we have going out to all of our different clients and all of our different leads. Because one of the biggest problems that I ultimately have faced is I just don't have time to go in and serve every single lead that's coming into my business. And now we can start to create, a 365-day email sequence, which is completely personalized to every single person that comes through the CRM system now. Okay, so, that's just awesome and that's just insane. So how about I do that actually? Let's just say, can you plot out a 30-day email nurturing sequence that essentially goes out to everyone who's coming in through our quiz funnel? So it uses the personalized data the quiz funnel captures on the person and then builds a 30-day email sequence for each of those people. Okay, that's a bit of a crazy request. Can't believe I'm even saying that, but let's see what happens. All right, guys, so you can see here, it's plotted out what that might look like. But the problem is it doesn't actually have a tool that allows it to create new workflows. Okay, so I'm just going to go over to Claude. I'm going to say, can you create a tool that allows the operator to create new email workflows? Okay, so pretty simple request there. But essentially, a tool is something that just gives the agent the ability to manage these different, platforms. So for example, in emails, we've got these workflows over here where you could basically create a new one, blah, 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 add steps, emails, wait time, etc. But I want the operator to be able to do this. I don't really want to be going in and creating, these sort of things. But what you'll notice is that we actually have this already set up, but let's just see if the operator can do this now once it has its tool implemented. And this is quite funny because having used GHL for years and years and years now, if you want a new feature, you have to go onto their changelog and request something. And honestly, I've had features there that have been, running stale for years. Okay. Now, because we have our own developer WizKid, who is Fable, and Claude, this really could be done with any AI platform, is we have the ability just to create new features when the need arises, okay? And that's what the whole purpose of being digitally sovereign ultimately is. Like I said, your income is only capped by your imagination now. So, really building tools is like literally one prompt bomb, and hopefully this should be, pretty solid. So let's see what happens. All right, guys, so we've just added a new tool that will allow our operator to draft new email sequences and automations. So I'm just going to say, draft a 14-day email sequence to all new leads that come from our quiz funnel. Make them personalized for each person using the data the quiz funnel gives you on every single lead. Okay, let's send it. Now the trouble is all of our leads are still in our old backend. So if you just take a look here, okay, all of our leads are still over here. But anyway, let's see what it does. Okay, so here's what it'll build instead. So it's identified some of the problems in my ask, and it's saying, here's what I'll build instead. Trigger, tag added, correct. Arc over 14 days, yes. Personalization. Okay, let's see what it does. All right, go ahead. Now, this is part of the reason why I really enjoy creating interactive diagnosis funnels for ourselves and our client, because when the client's data comes back to your CRM system like this, you can start to create hyper-personalized marketing for every single person that comes through the door. So you create one workflow, and then in the emails, you actually create these custom personalized fields that our agent is suggesting here. But the beauty is, this used to have to be done manually. And again, because operator has full context and tools on how to manage our backend, this is just being done for us fully autonomously. All right, so let's let this work and let's see what the result is. All right, so you guys can see there that it failed. So I just screenshotted that back to Claude and it's fixed it, hopefully. So we should see this rock up inside of our workflows. All right, guys, so you can see here our quiz funnel lead nurture 14-day sequence is here. We've got a quiz results breakdown. We've got customized fields. Oh my gosh. And it's all written in my brand's tone of voice, guys, because this is connected to my brand brain. If you don't know what a brand brain is, my friends, this is what we break down. And it's one of the first things that we give you inside of our school community. So if you're not there, get in there and do your brand brain, and you're going to have hyper-personalized marketing shipped to your ideal client. And if you're in my school community and you haven't built your brand brain yet, this is your signal to do it, because it gives you this insane ability for AI to ultimately replicate your tone of voice. And this is really what's possible with it. All right, so you can see that on email 5, it starts going into talking about our Brave Brand school community. And again, it understands what our main call to action is and what our main offer is because of all of our brand intelligence baked into it. All right, it feels gross to promote myself. I hear a version of this almost every week, which is absolutely true. So again, targeted, specifically targeted to my ICP. And that's just a beautiful process, isn't it, guys? And now we can just hit activate. Workflow is live. Workflow shows up there. What a time to be alive, my friends. All right. So if you would like to see where this goes next, because honestly, like I said before, it really is just up to our imagination now. So if you have any ideas or workflows you'd like to see built into this custom backend, this is what all of our clients inside of the school community get out of the box. The agentic layer is a customized layer itself, but you have the infrastructure that you can use. That's what being digitally sovereign is, and that's what a digital home gives you. All right. So my friend, if you have any questions, drop them below, and I'll see you on the next one. Peace out.